scale. This is the 2020 year-end wrap-up. All right, we all admit 2020 was what you'd call a shit show. I know some of you guys probably weren't working. Some of you probably were working. Some of you had time for modeling. Some of you maybe didn't have time for modeling. I made time for modeling, so made a lot of progress over the last year despite the bullshit. And here's where we're at. So 2020 brought us the addition of the coal branch. This is going to be, when it's complete, this is going to be a branch line that is serviced by CSX. It'll pick up coal cars from the tipple here, and we'll interchange them with Norfolk Southern, who is on the lower layout. And there's a small yard we'll get to here in just a second. So working on scenery and the basic static flocks, all that sort of stuff, and started with the static grass, got the roads in, got the track in, all that sort of fun stuff. Also got the future district, business district, industrial district, whatever it's going to be here. I haven't quite decided what it's going to be. Got that all laid out. I'm using this as a short line railroad, class 2. That connects Norfolk Southern and CSX. So there's my little engine right there. I may actually design and develop a color scheme and call it the Northern Allegheny Railroad. I haven't decided yet. And then this here, the land bridge as it is right now, where those two cranes are sitting, is drifting off to where the future harbor scene will be. So got prepared for that. Back side of the layout now, I started working on and completed the staging yard. So all the track, which is a combination of sectional and flat track using Atlas switch machines, that was all put together, soldered up. Obviously you can see the switch machines are wired, and you can control them remotely. Also completed work on the helix, got that all lined up so that it runs smoothly and trains can traverse it. Also, and don't judge, I got a lot of things going on here. Got the workbench better lit. Been making a lot of effort to upgrade everything to micro trains, trucks and couplers and all that sort of stuff. Taking off all of the other ones that I'm keeping basically for spare parts at this point, trip pins and whatnot. So that's made the layout run a lot better, a lot smoother. Stay tuned, because in an upcoming video I will do a review of the latest and greatest release from Micro Trains. This is pretty cool, so if you model CSX or can justify CSX, you're definitely going to want to check out this video when I show you what's in this box here. I'm going to say this is probably the score of the year. I picked up a Road Railer Deluxe Innovations. This is a Snyder National set. It was definitely probably the prize pickup for the year. Not to make anything else seem unappreciated, but it was definitely the win. Worked on weathering some vehicles and some cars, trying some new techniques using Vallejo and AK Interactive pigments. Also picked up these lovely Amtrak maintenance away cars that look pretty good behind the CSX maintenance away locomotive, even though it's sort of least power, so to speak. Also started reworking some of the scenery that I didn't like. Tried my hand at putting in some pavement with some cracks. I think it worked out fairly nice there. And lots of people got added to the layout this year. I think this part is particularly funny. Some of you may find it offensive. If you do, you're definitely on the wrong channel. But got my strip club back there. Got the bad boys rolling up on their Harleys. And of course, got some hookers outside. Some guys checking out the offerings. So I think that's freaking hysterical. But anyway, I've got a lot of lighting. The plug and play by Woodland Scenics. I got all those plugged in, and let's see, get it turned on here for you. They are pretty cool. It's a very easy system to work with. It looks great. They only have a few options out right now. I have a funny feeling based on some of their advertising, it's probably going to get expanded. But in the meantime, the offerings that they do have are very nice. So I've got my lighting started. All right. And then if we jump over, sorry for the camera swing there. Hopefully nobody got motion sick. Over here at the terminal, Old Glory looks pretty good lit up. And then of course we also added some lighting to the building entrances, which I think is a very nice touch. Adds a bit of realistic flavor there. And started working on the terminal scene. So we got the turntable in, got all of this built and done. Yes, this was all in 2020. Worked on this access road. This is actually pretty new. You haven't seen this before. So trying some different techniques. I am pretty happy with the crack technique that I've used and the patch technique. The road hasn't been weathered yet, so this needs weathered. But this doesn't look too bad. I think I'm gonna keep that. Started scratch building the terminal, and I did build the mock-up of what it's gonna look like. So that was good forward progress. More lights getting ready to go in, so that's gonna come up in a 2021 video, I guess. All right, also completed the boaters and this little scene down here. Used the Woodland Scenics, the new field system they came out with. It actually works really nice. They just sort of stick right on. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Added some more guys to the fishing docks, and based on what I got, something I got for Christmas, there's going to be a little surprise scene that's going to get added to these kayakers. So stay tuned to that. It's going to be funny, and it's going to be pretty cool. So it's going to be a nice little scene here. Also, Dairy Queen. Got the Dairy Queen in, the parking lot lines painted. It's all done. Got a little shopping center, and I didn't put the decals on it yet. I've got work to do. I want to get a model and inside there, so I didn't put the signs up on this thing until I figure out what exactly it's going to be. I want to get real lights on it using the Woodland Scenics kit. So this sort of all got placed just sort of temporarily. The game plan here was to show where the old part of town and the new part of town were sort of taking over. I'm going to set this up so that we have old and new, and make that look like most of our towns now, trying to get with the current times. Repainted the concrete pad here at this industry. Also redid the asphalt. Once again, added cracks to the pavement. I think the system that I'm using is really good. All it is a very fine, very fine tip brush with just a little bit of paint on it, and a acrylic paint that I picked up at Walmart. I've seen it used in some of your YouTube videos, and it's actually really good for stuff like that. This was the year of 3D printing, so I got some 3D printed vehicles for the construction scenes. I really like them. I think they're awesome. If you haven't been on Shapeways, you need to go on Shapeways. Check it out. They got some really cool stuff. I mean, there's no manufacturer that's making a Caterpillar milling machine and a Caterpillar paver in end scale. It's not out there. I don't even know if it's out in HO. So 3D printing, definitely. was good for this year. Dump trucks, cones, all kinds of little construction items. And of course, also picked up some coal cars, both in NS and in Conrail at the end. The NS are still wearing their Athearn couplers because they seem to be working pretty well, but this Athearn set has been upgraded, as I call it, to Microtrains couplers. They've run beautifully ever since. So that's been some progress there. And then of course, a little bit, a couple of extra vehicles have been added to the layout as far as maintenance away stuff from Showcase Miniatures. In general, that is pretty much what has happened on the layout, but probably the biggest noticeable change to all of this for 2020 has been the room lighting itself. And with this little remote, I can change the lighting in the room all at one time. So I can actually make it more evening, or I can go more maybe dusk. It does have some weird colors that I don't know will ever get used, but they are an option. So I mean, if you wanted it to be more purpley or more blue for night, of course when it's blue for night, the night scenes with the lighting become a lot more impressive, and the flag looks a lot better. And now it's starting to look like a pretty cold winter night around the terminal. So definitely gonna play with this a little bit in future videos and for future photographs, just because it offers a lot of opportunity for photographing. So the whole room now is controlled by LED lighting, and it's pretty nice. You can get a little better effect if you turn off the room's main light and side light there. They provide obviously constant blue or white light in this case. So that's I know it's been a lot of stuff that happened in 2020. So it's good stuff, which at this point we can all use some good stuff. And let's talk a little bit about what's planned for 2021. Obviously, work is going to continue on the upper level here. So that's coming. We're going to get this scene finished up, start getting kits and plans for what's going on over here in the business district. Once the weather gets warm up here in Western PA, it is cold. It's too cold to go out and do woodworking. So there is not going to be a harbor in the first half of 2020. This is going to be a springtime once the weather's nice and I can work outside and get everything cut. So going to be a little hold on that. Going to continue working on scratch building my passenger terminal and getting that moving somewhere. Going to finish up the rest of the scenery here along the edge of the layout. Built it up to the fascia, so it all needs finished up. Going to continue adding details. People, animals, trees, structures, that sort of thing, to keep all the scenes moving. The next project I'm going to undertake here is at my engine terminal. So this is a small terminal that's on the layout. Not obviously, it's not quite to the sophistication of the roundhouse, but I don't know if you've noticed this or not, but there's a road here, and that road goes nowhere. There's a crossing here, which is really nice for taking pictures of trains at, but it goes to a lot, and then that's it. So this road, it doesn't go anywhere. It's completely landlocked. So I am going to make some changes to the scenery back here to actually put a road in off stage, so that there's access to this. That's kind of what I did back here. I had a road that couldn't get to this back part of the layout. So now we have a road. Going to fix that. I'm going to continue working on the downtown section. Eventually I do want to get these buildings lit and interiors inside them, because, well, they're kind of boring from the front and you can see into them, and there's nothing there. So they need some TLC. So I am going to start working on those. I don't know how far I'm going to get. But the biggest thing that I'd like to do this year is start putting signals on the layout. So I have been doing just the tiniest little bit of research on the signals and the system that I may want to use. And I'll be honest with you, I'm more confused by that than I was with the DCC, converting to DCC. So I'm hoping that some friends out there in YouTube land or elsewhere may know a good signal system to go with as far as controlling. And I'm looking for a full system that's controlling, the not only train traffic and movements, but also that's signaling if, switches are changed and trains pass, the whole 9 yards. I want it to look as realistic and function as realistic as possible based on what I'm doing with the layout. So I figure somewhere underneath the layout's probably going to have to go a computer to run this program that's going to do all of this sort of stuff. But we'll find out and see what I can uncover. I am taking suggestions and welcoming anybody's input if they've got a fully functioning signal system on their DCC layout. Drop me a line in the comments and we'll go from there. I did put some gravel on that roof. Almost forgot. So it needs weathered, but now I have a ballasted roof. And I do have some units, air conditioning units, air handling units that need to go up on some of these buildings. They haven't been built yet. They're sitting in the back. So that is what's happened on the Allegheny Northern here for 2020. And I've got some new things happening here as far as in my personal life, getting a new job. So I'm looking forward to starting that here for 2021, and we'll see what comes up with that. There might be a little bit of catching up work to do that'll cause me to stay out of the training room a little bit more. So videos may be slow in coming after this one, but fear not. There's a whole list of projects for 2021 scheduled, and we'll just see how fast we can get plugging through them. Until next time, YouTube, keep modeling and keep sharing your thoughts and your ideas.